What's up, sports bettors? I got 6 NBA player props. I have some early plays for Lakers versus Nuggets. Seems like that series is all but over, but there's some value in the player props. And then I also have some bets for Celtics Heat. So can Jimmy Butler, can the Miami Heat work their magic once again? So you can see the Celtics are favored in Miami in game 3. Minus 162 is the best price that you can get on currently the Betfair exchange. Which is a sports book you may have access to, you may not. Every book has different locations. But again, like as a sharp sports bettor, you want to have as many sportsbook accounts as possible. If you only use, let's say, FanDuel, right? And you're placing bets on the Celtics at minus 172, when there's other books offering a way better price, minus 162 in this case, you're getting ripped off, right? You're just getting a horrible price. You're never going to make money sports betting. It's kind of like being an investor, but you have to pay 20% more for every stock you want to buy. You won't stand a chance. So line shopping, browsing odds, having multiple sports books so you can always get the best line is critical. And it's completely free to do on OddsJam, right? You can browse any markets you want, all these player props, team props, millions of odds updating in real time. It's all free on OddsJam. But anyways, let's go ahead. Let's get into my first player prop. So my first pick is right here. It's from the Sportsbook screen on OddsJam. So you just go to Sportsbook and then Sportsbook screen. And this betting tool is very simple, right? It literally just reads in lines from across the market. So what's crazy about sports betting is, let me just zoom in here, is all these books set lines independently. So what you're going to notice is for Kyle Lowry, Underdog Fantasy has his line at 9.5 points. Right? But then you can take a look at parlay play. They're at 10, right? So what you're going to notice is every sports book, right? As a sharp bettor, I say this all the time, but it's the number one thing. If you want to make money sports betting, you have to internalize this, is every book is a data point, right? Every book is a data point on where the line should be set. So for Kevin Love, all the books have him at 5.5 points. Parlay play, prize picks, underdog, they all have him at 5.5. There's no value. There's no discrepancies. You know, as a sharp bettor, you're like an investor. You're hunting through the market, looking for discrepancies, looking for value. That's how you make money sports betting. For Jimmy Butler, all the books have him at 28.5 points. No value in the market. And, you know, there's hundreds of data points that you can browse on this sportsbook screen. So for Kyle Lowry, though, you can see we have a clear line discrepancy. All of the other fantasy sites, prize picks, Underdog Fantasy, they have Lowry's line at 9.5 points. All the books have his line at 9.5 points. You can see this OddsJam column. It just takes a weighted average of the market. So you can see Lowry's, basically even money to go over, under 9.5 points across the entire sports betting market. And you're going to notice parlay play is a line discrepancy. What are they doing? They're setting his line at 10 when every other data point has his line at 9.5. So parlay play is too high relative to every other data point, so we want to take the under. And that's the first pick that I actually went with. So you're going to see right here, you can look at FanDuel too. FanDuel is one of the only sports books that offers, these main player point markets, but they also offer alternate point markets, which is kind of cool. So you can bet on Lowry over under 6.5 points, 7.5 points, 8.5, whatever. And you're going to notice, right, there's a pretty big jump in the odds from 9.5 to 10.5 points. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, who really cares? What's the difference between 10 and 9.5? But you're going to see, there's a 52-cent jump from 9.5 to 10.5 points for Lowry. If you look at the under, it goes from minus 166 for under 10.5 points to minus 114 for under 9.5 points. So that's a pretty big jump in the odds, right? So 10 versus 9.5 is pretty meaningful in finding value, finding these discrepancies where all books have a line at 9.5 and one sports book is asleep at the wheel, setting the line at 10.5. That's really how you make money sports betting, right? Like on this parlay play platform, they only have maximum bet sizes of $60, which is a little weird. It's kind of the lowest I've seen. They only let you bet $60 on all your plays. But regardless, I've already been able to run up $1,870 in profit, roughly $1,900 in profit over the course of the year when their max bet size is $60. All just finding value, finding plays with an edge. It's not glamorous. You don't win every single day, But quite simply, this is how you make money sports betting. So my first player prop is, again, Lowry under 10 points. So then what we can do, and also I want to say, you can use the OddsJam tools. So Corey Kluber under 16.5 outs, just as an example, I played this on Fliff. You can see it right here. I bet $250. I included it in a parlay. Corey Kluber under 16.5 outs. So it's not just like the OddsJam software works for parlay play. It works for a bunch of sports books, but I've explained this before. Every book has different locations, right? So you're going to see if you select all 194 sports books on OddsJam, the positive EV tool, which is where I find, a lot of my plays, the top plays on FanDuel, under 2.5 goals in Real Madrid versus Rayo Valenciano. You're getting the under 2.5 goals at plus 136 on FanDuel when all the other books have this line, kind of around plus 115, plus 107-ish. So really clear line discrepancy, right? We're always looking for value. What's crazy though is you think about an investor, you think about a day trader, what do? They look for value in the market. It's no different if you're trying to make money sports betting. And this is how, all of the money made on parlay play, all of the plays I've given out every play on YouTube, Twitter, or both, has just come from finding value, right? Finding value is all investors look for. It's all day traders look for. I'm not sure why people think in sports betting it's super different just because sports are involved. It's no different. But what's crazy about sports betting is, again, all these books, they want to be unique. So they set lines independently, right? FanDuel has different prices or odds from DraftKings, right? It would kind of be like if you looked on Fidelity and you see the price of a stock is $115, and then you look on E-Trade and it's $136. That doesn't happen. It only happens in sports betting. There are these massive price discrepancies, right? So all you have to do is look for these spots where a sportsbook is asleep at the wheel and giving you way too much value on a play. And you can see the top plays on FanDuel, under 2.5 total goals in this soccer match. And then there's some plays on Fliff. Then there's some plays on, Circa. All these different sports books, different markets, some baseball, some soccer, some NBA. So as a sharp bettor, we follow the value. If there's more bets on FanDuel, we place more bets on FanDuel. But I'm not currently in a location that has FanDuel available, so I can't bet on FanDuel. So I'm not going to be making videos about FanDuel. You're going to see here, what I can actually do is just increase this a bit, and then we can hit refresh. Is you can see there's value on Hot Streak. So this is a platform I've been trying to sign up for. But again, just long story short, the more books you have, the better, right? More books, more profitable betting opportunities. You never know which book is going to be slipping up and offering value on a given day. And you can see there's some value on Hot Streak. There's some value on FanDuel, DraftKings. So I strongly encourage you to sign up for all these platforms. But anyways, before we get into the rest of my picks on Parlay Play, I like to kind of explain how this platform works because it works differently than, FanDuel. So on FanDuel, there's odds, there's all these numbers and stuff like that. Is if you look at Parlay Play, there's just lines, right? There's no odds, there's no numbers. So a lot of people are like, well, how does this platform work? How do I make money off it? And basically, the way this platform works is it's a fixed payout platform. So what I mean by that is any 6 picks you select, so you can see this is your payout for a 6-pick entry. You go 6 for 6, you 25x your money, etc. And it doesn't matter if you take overs or unders, right? Doesn't matter. Your payout doesn't change. In fact, we could change this to a different pick. So if you want to take an NHL pick, if we want to change this to, whatever. So what we can do is we can add in 2 hockey picks instead. You're still getting the same payout, right? It doesn't matter at all. So it doesn't, you can literally play around with it as much as you want. Nothing's going to change. Any 6 picks you select, this is the payout you're getting. So the way that this platform makes money is they assume you have no advantage, right? That's how every sportsbook makes money. They assume you're clueless and you can't beat them, right? It's not like you go to Parlay Play and they're like, oh, you want to place a $25 bet, you owe us a $2 fee. Right? That's not how this platform works. The way this platform monetizes you, tries to make money off you, is if you have no advantage, just think about it. If you have no edge, no advantage, you're going to win 50%, lose 50% of your picks, right? Brent Burns, he's always going over or under 1.5 block shots. So if you have no edge, no advantage, you're going to be 50-50 to win or lose, whether you take over or under. It's like flipping a coin, heads versus tails, over versus under. You're 50-50 to win, right? But on parlay play, if you go through the math behind this platform, and I'll include the spreadsheet in the description, you can reach out with any questions. I try to keep these videos educational. Stuff like that, kind of explain how these sportsbooks work, how to make money off them, is you need to win 53.2% roughly of your player props to be profitable on this platform. So if you have no edge, no advantage, so if you can only hit these player props 50% of the time, you have no edge, no advantage, your ROI is going to be negative 26% on parlay play, right? You need to win your picks above 53.2% of the time. Right? It's a fixed payout platform. They don't change your payout based on the 6 picks you select, as I've kind of shown you in this video. So it all boils down to your win rate. What percentage of your prop bets can you win? They assume you have no edge, no advantage. You can only win 50%. And in that case, you're going to lose money. But let's say you can win 55% of your over-unders, just like Brent Burns over-under 1.5 block shots. Let's say you can win 55% of your player props. Then you're profitable. Your ROI is 17.1%. It all boils down to win rate. All you have to do to make money on this platform is win above 53.2% of your picks. And finding those half-point differences, right, when every data point, every sportsbook is telling us Lowry's line should be at 9.5, and we're able to get under 10 when the market is telling us, no, the over-under should be 9.5, Lowry's at 10, that's how you increase the win probability of your picks above 53.2%, right? All you're looking for, it's that simple. All you have to do to make money on this platform is win 53.2% of your picks. So another betting tool I use is the Fantasy Optimizer. And this is a pretty cool tool. Obviously, most of the MLB games have started today. So there's not a ton of MLB value. But essentially, all this tool does is it uses sportsbook odds to tell you the win probability for a bet, right? So it's scanning all of these lines on parlay play, right? It's updating all of them, all these NBA lines. It's reading them all in and comparing the lines on parlay play to the odds on sportsbooks. So all the sportsbooks have Caldwell Pope's line set at 10.5 points, but they have the under favored. They have the under as the juiced outcome, as the favored outcome. So it's the same thing. Like if we open up NBA, what we can do is you can see like, okay, the Celtics are favored tonight, right? The Celtics are minus 162 favorites. The market is telling you, unless you think you're smarter than the sports books, their models, and every other sports bettor, right? Like, if you thinking you're smarter than the sports books means you also think you're smarter than every other sports bettor, because sports books, right, their odds are based on supply and demand. It's just like the price of a stock goes up, down based on supply and demand. It's no different in sports betting. These books don't have $100 million worth of exposure to Celtics money line. They move odds until they find the point where there's even action coming in on both sides. That's how a market works. That's how sportsbooks work. So unless you think you're smarter than these sportsbooks that have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines, and you think you're smarter than every other sports bettor, the tens of millions of NBA bettors, you are not. Like, the Celtics are favored to win this game. That's my point. Long story short, is the market is smart. The market is efficient, right? So you're going to see the Celtics are pretty big favorites, roughly minus 170. So the market is telling you the Celtics are above 50% to win this game, right? The Celtics or the Heat are going to win this game. So if the Celtics are favorites, the Celtics are above 50% to win this game. So what the Fantasy Optimizer does is it uses sportsbook odds. We know the Celtics are more likely to win this game to tell you the win probability for your bet. So for Caldwell Pope, all of the sports books have his under pretty heavily favored, around minus 135 odds. So the books are telling you he's more likely to go under as opposed to over 10.5 points. So if he's more likely to go under, that means he's going under above 50% of the time. And OddsJam just quantifies that for you, 53.21%. So this play is good to go in a parlay play entry. We need to win above 53.2% of our picks. These plays that are 51% to win are no good, right? Even if you can win on this platform, 51% of your over-unders, only losing 49%. So you have a slight advantage. You're winning more than you're losing. You have a slight advantage, but you're still not going to be profitable. Because again, you have to win roughly 53.2% of your picks to be profitable on this platform. So none of these plays in red cut it. You just want these plays in green. Caldwell Pope under 10.5 points. All the books have his under as a pretty big favorite, around minus 135. So all the data points, all the sports books are data points telling you Caldwell Pope is more likely to go under as opposed to over, right? So we want to take his under on parlay play. And the 6 picks I went with, I'm betting $20 to win that 25x payout. If I go 6 for 6, is Caldwell Pope under 10.5 points. We just saw this on the Fantasy Optimizer. And again, you can use this betting tool for Prize Picks, Underdog, No House Advantage, Jock Market, all these different places. Jason Tatum under 31.5 points. Lowry under 10 points. Austin Reeves under 27.5 PRAs, so an early play for Lakers Nuggets game 4. Russell over 15 points plus assists. Jaylen Brown over 23 points. 6 picks, right? So again, I want these videos to be educational, so any questions you have, never hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to answer questions. Let's make some money.